Assalamu alaikum. Have you ever felt an inexplicable connection with someone, as if Allah wanted to show you something but you didn't know what? What if this person wasn't in your life by chance? Maybe you cross his path again and again. Maybe your heart soothes at his touch, or on the contrary, something inside you screams to get away from him. But how do you know if it's a sign from Allah or just a simple feeling? In this video, we will decipher together the divine signs. May Allah place signs on your path that you should never ignore. Because yes, Allah speaks to you through your heart. You still have to know how to listen to Him. Stay well until the end, because these signs could transform the way you see this person and maybe even change your destiny. 1. Doubt and prayer. When Allah speaks to your heart. There are moments when life confronts us with encounters that turn everything upside down. A person enters your existence, and suddenly you no longer see things the same way. There is this presence, this energy, this impression that something greater is at work. But is it a path towards the light or a veil that separates you from the truth? Doubt sets in. Thoughts become confused. The heart wavers. Why do I feel this way about this person? Why does his existence seem to intertwine with mine again and again? Why does each prayer subtly bring me back to his memory? Is this a sign that Allah wants you to pay attention to this person? Or is this a future test of your patience, your wisdom, your faith? This is where confusion becomes dangerous. Because if Allah sends you a message but you do not know how to listen to it, you risk walking on a path that is not intended for you. The pure in-heart sense before the intellect understands. Before reason can even put the pieces together, your soul perceives what your mind refuses to admit. Allah speaks to sincere hearts, and He places within them truths that words cannot describe. But the question is, are you listening? There is a difference between feeling something and understanding what it means. Have you taken the time to ask the one who has all the answers? Prayer, the most direct, most powerful link between you and your Creator. Did you raise your hands to the sky and say, "O Allah, if this person is good for me, then enlighten me. But if he is an illusion, then keep me away from misguidance"? Too often we allow ourselves to be blinded by our own emotions. We want to see signs where there are only trials. We look for confirmations, clues, coincidences. But have we really asked Allah to place His light in our hearts? A sign you did not ask for may be a trial, but a sign you receive after sincere prayer is an answer. And when my servants ask you about me, indeed I am near. I respond to the call of the supplicant when he calls upon me. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:186. Silence is never a coincidence. If your heart is agitated after a prayer, if a feeling pursues you for no reason, ask yourself the real question. Is it your soul recognizing a truth, or your ego clinging to an illusion? But if Allah shows you a sign and you ignore it, who but Him can guide you? Signs you should never ignore. What if Allah clearly shows you the answer you are looking for? What if, instead of simple doubt or inner confusion, the signs were already there, right in front of you, but you haven't seen them yet? Make no mistake, Allah sends obvious signs, but it is up to you to recognize them. It's up to you to see them and understand what He is trying to tell you. Some signs are gentle and calming. Others are sharp as blades, reminding you that your destiny is not in your hands. But there are 3 signs you should never ignore. First sign, your heart finds peace in His presence. Stop for a moment and think. When you are with this person, do you feel a deep tranquility? There are people who come into your life and disrupt it. They create chaos, doubts, and tensions. Every conversation with them seems to take you away from yourself. But there are also souls who, without saying anything, soothe you. When you are with this person, your heart settles. There is no agitation, no stress, no fear, only an inexplicable ease, a lightness that cannot be explained. What if this inner peace was a message from Allah? What is pure brings you peace, and what is impure troubles you. An agitated heart is a heart that has detected danger. A peaceful heart is a heart that has recognized a truth. Don't neglect what your soul feels. Second sign. This person brings you closer to Allah. There is an essential question to ask. Is this person pulling you towards Allah or pulling you away from Him? With her, do you feel more inspired to pray? Do you want to be a better person, a more sincere servant? Or on the contrary, does she push you towards sin, forgetting, or negligence? Allah's love manifests itself through those He places in your life. A person sent by Him lifts you up, pushes you to seek His light, and reminds you of the importance of your faith. A person who pulls you into darkness was not sent to uplift you, but to test you. Remember one thing. A person who takes you away from Allah is not a blessing. It is an illusion. Third sign. Allah sends them to you in circumstances that only He could orchestrate. Have you ever wondered why this person came into your life at this specific time? Why now? Why not before? Why not after? An improbable encounter. A series of events that seem to align in an almost supernatural way. Perfect timing. A succession of coincidences that are not. One thing is certain. Chance does not exist in the decree of Allah. If you've come across this person in a way that seems scripted, there is a reason. Allah does nothing without wisdom. But there is an even more important question to ask. Is this a gift or a challenge? Don't be fooled. A sign can also be a test. Don't be naive. Not everything that comes into your life with intensity is necessarily a blessing. Sometimes Allah sends you someone not to stay, but to see if you will truly make the right choice. Is this a temptation or a lesson? Is it a light or a shadow disguised as light? You saw the signs. You felt what you learned to feel. But now, the real question is, what are you going to do with it? 3 of Allah's warning signs. Don't be wrong. We often talk about positive signs, those that guide us toward what is good for us. But what about warning signs? What if, instead of a path laid out by the wisdom of Allah, you were ignoring the barriers He places before you? There are times when Allah does not open a door for us, not because He deprives us of something, but because He saves us from what could destroy us. If you do not heed these warnings, you risk persevering in an illusion and getting lost on a path that only leads to suffering. Make no mistake. Some signs are not a blessing, but a test of your discernment. Here are 3 warnings that Allah places on your path when a person is not right for you. First warning, your heart is filled with doubts and torment. There is a difference between natural fears of the unknown and a heart at war with itself. If this person brings you more confusion than clarity, if you feel inexplicable tension and persistent hesitation, if every time you pray for God's guidance, your heart remains heavy, without peace, without serenity, ask yourself why. Why doesn't Allah shed light on this path? Allah never leaves His servants in doubt without reason. Sometimes, the lack of a response is a response in itself. If your heart is a battlefield, if your thoughts become a labyrinth with no way out, maybe this is a sign that Allah is asking you to move away. Don't ignore deep discomfort just because you want this person to stay in your life. What is good for you soothes your soul. What is bad for you brings turmoil. Second warning, you compromise on your faith. It all starts with small adjustments, invisible concessions. You tell yourself that it's nothing, that you have control. You justify behaviors that, in another context, you would never have accepted. If this person takes you away from your Islamic principles, if they normalize what is illicit, if they push you to disobey Allah, even subtly, this is not a gift, it is a challenge. Nothing is worth losing your connection with Allah. No love, no friendship, no relationship deserves that you sacrifice your faith. And yet, this is often what happens. We cling to a person under the pretext that they are dear to us, but in reality, they keep us away from the one who truly loves us. And the worst part, Allah shows you the signs, but do you listen to them? Third warning. Allah places repetitive obstacles in your path. Have you ever tried to force something that just doesn't want to work? You insist, you try again and again, but every time a wall stands in front of you. Each attempt fails. Discussions turn into arguments, circumstances become more and more complicated. And yet, you persevere. You tell yourself that it's a test, that you have to fight for it. But what if in reality Allah is blocking you to protect you? Sometimes we are so attached to our own desires that we refuse to see that everything is collapsing around us for a specific reason. Allah does not need to speak to you directly. He shows you through events. If every time you try to build something with this person, it falls apart. If you feel a heaviness that you can't explain. If the path becomes harder instead of clearer, this is no coincidence. Allah says in the Qur'an, "It may be that you hate something, but it is good for you, and it may be that you love something, but it is bad for you. Allah knows, but you do not know." Surah Al-Baqarah 2:16. If everything you try with this person leads to a dead end, this may be a sign that Allah doesn't want you to go any further. Don't close your eyes. Allah's warnings are not there to punish you. They are there to protect you. A love that tears you apart inside, a relationship that turns you away from your faith, a path that closes with each attempt. All of this is not an accident. But the real question is, are you going to listen to the signs that Allah sends you? Or are you going to ignore them and rush toward what could harm you? How to ask Allah for a clear answer. Doubts can eat away at the soul. You have felt the signs, but you are still hesitant. You don't know if this person is a blessing or a hardship. You oscillate between the desire to believe it is a blessing and the fear of getting lost in an illusion. So, what should you do? The answer is simple. Don't try to figure it out for yourself. Ask the one who knows. Allah never leaves a sincere servant unanswered. But have you taken the time to ask him the question? There is a door that leads to clarity, a key that opens the path to certainty, a solution that too few people actually use with faith. There is light in the darkness. When you find yourself at a crossroads, Allah does not abandon you. He has given you a surefire way to get an answer directly from him. The prayer of consultation, Salat al-Istikhara. Salat al-Istikhara is not just a simple prayer. It is an intimate dialogue between you and your Creator, a supplication where you put your choice in His hands, asking Him to remove what could harm you and facilitate what is truly meant for you. Don't let your emotions cloud the truth. Trust Allah to guide you. How to perform istikhara and understand Allah's response. This prayer is simple but requires total sincerity. 1. Purify your intention. Don't try to manipulate the answer. Be ready to accept what Allah has in store for you, even if it goes against what you want. 2. Pray 2 units of prayer with concentration. 3. Do it in a state of inner peace, away from distractions. Then let go. Trust that Allah will guide you to what is best, even if it's not what you expected. The answer is always there. But are you ready to listen? Recite the Istikhara invocation. "O Allah, if this thing is good for me in my religion, my present and my future life, then make it easy for me and bless it. But if it is evil for me, then take it away from me and keep me away from it. Decree for me what is best for me." And then don't look for an immediate answer. Wait, observe, feel. How will Allah answer you? Many believe that istikhara manifests itself through a dream or sudden vision, but the reality is more subtle and deeper. Allah responds in several ways. He facilitates or complicates. If the relationship becomes fluid, if doors open effortlessly, this is a positive sign. But if everything becomes difficult, if obstacles appear again and again, then Allah is showing you that this is not your path. He calms or disturbs your heart. You may feel an inexplicable sense of peace or a weight that you cannot ignore. He distances or brings closer. Without you doing anything, you will see whether this person stays in your life naturally or if Allah takes them away without you understanding why. This is where your faith will be tested. Will you accept Allah's answer, or will you fight it because it is not what you wanted to hear? Let go and trust in Allah. Your vision is limited. You only see a fragment of your story, but Allah, He sees everything. He knows what is hidden. He knows the invisible. Don't force what is not meant for you. Do not resist what Allah takes away from you. If you want an answer, ask for it, but above all, be prepared to accept it. Trust Allah's plan. Everything has already been written, before you even met this person, before you even felt anything, before this doubt even arose in you. Allah already knew what was going to happen. Everything that survives in your life has a reason, a place, a meaning. Every encounter, every separation, every trial, every blessing, everything is written in divine decree. And yet, you struggle. You hang on. You try to understand, to control, to remember. But have you forgotten that you don't control anything? If Allah wants a person to stay in your life, no force on this earth will be able to keep them away. But if Allah wants to protect you from them, then nothing will be able to keep them by your side. No pleading, no attachment, no insistence can change what is not already decreed. Stop forcing what Allah does not bless. How many times have you tried to force something that wasn't working? How many times have you turned a blind eye to the obvious signs just because you didn't want to accept reality? Do not let your human attachment blind you to divine signs. Do not try to twist destiny so that it follows your desires. If Allah placed this person in your life for a reason, they will stay. If Allah wants to keep you away from them, nothing can change that. Your role is not to understand everything. Your role is to trust in the one who knows what is best for you. Listen, pray, and let Allah guide your heart. It is easy to get lost in emotions, attachments, and illusions. But what is difficult is to submit completely to the will of Allah. If your heart is at peace, if this person brings you closer to your faith, if Allah places them in your path in a way that seems almost heavenly, then maybe He is sending you a message. But if everything seems uncertain, if your heart is heavy, if each step towards this person takes you a little further away from Allah, then ask yourself the only question that matters. Was it Allah who sent them to me, or was it my own desire that imposed them on me? The key, tawakkul, absolute trust in Allah. You can't see the future. You cannot anticipate what Allah has in store for you, but you can do one thing. Trust Him. Put your trust in Allah. Allah loves those who trust in Him. Everything that comes from Allah is good for you, even if you don't understand it yet. Everything He takes away from you is an evil that has been spared, even if your heart regrets it today. Let go. Let Him write your story. Accept that what is truly meant for you will never fail you. Allah never leaves His servants without answers. He speaks to you. He guides you. He sends you signs. But it is up to you to see them and respond to them. If this person is good for you, then Allah will include them in your destiny one way or another. But if it is a trap or a test, then trust His plan and let Him protect you. Don't let your emotions cloud divine wisdom. Observe, listen, and above all, pray. Have you ever felt these signs in your heart? Share your experience in the comments. Your testimony could enlighten other brothers and sisters. What sign from Allah has impacted you the most in your life? Tell us in the comments, and let's see how many people have experienced these same signs. If this video brought you clarity, leave a like and share it with someone who might need it. Subscribe for more Islamic reminders and wisdom, and may we continue on this path of truth together. May Allah enlighten your heart and guide you towards the best.
A Psalm. O alaikum. Dear brothers and sisters, have you ever had the feeling that something huge is about to happen in your life? Maybe you've been asking yourself, am I getting married soon? But how can you really tell? Allah sends us signs, quiet but powerful hints that you may be getting closer to marriage. Sometimes you feel at peace, even if life isn't going perfectly. Other times, you notice unexpected changes in your personality, your relationships, or even the new people coming into your life. Could this be Allah guiding you toward marriage? Stick around as we reveal 5 major signs you might be about to get married. And trust me, some will truly surprise you. Let's get started. One of the biggest signs that marriage is near is when your heart feels genuinely ready. This isn't just about emotions. It's a deeper shift in your soul. Suddenly, marriage doesn't seem scary anymore. It feels right, as if Allah is leading you to a new stage in life. Think about it. Maybe a few years ago, marriage wasn't even on your radar. You were focused on studies, career, or personal growth. But now you sense a calm whenever you imagine having a life partner. You might even start making dua, asking Allah for a righteous spouse. Another sign is that your priorities begin to change. Things that once felt vital, like casual friendships, chasing material success, or short-lived pleasures, start seeming less important. Instead, you focus more on your emotional and spiritual growth. You see marriage as a way to complete your deen, not just a social norm. You might also find that marriage-related topics keep popping up. Friends getting married, family discussions about proposals, or coming across Islamic reminders about marriage. This could be Allah nudging you toward your next step. Another major shift happens within your mindset about relationships. If, before, you had unrealistic expectations or fears about marriage, you now start seeing it through an Islamic lens. You realize that marriage isn't about perfection. It's about growth, patience, and helping each other become better Muslims. Most importantly, you start feeling content with where Allah is leading you. Even if you don't know who your spouse is yet, you trust the process. You no longer feel desperate or impatient. Instead, there's a deep belief in your heart that when the right time comes, Allah will bring the right person into your life. So if you feel this inner peace, this readiness, and this shift in mindset, know that marriage may be closer than you think. Stay patient, keep making dua, and trust that Allah is guiding you toward the best future. One of the biggest signs that marriage is coming closer is when you start working on yourself, not just for personal success, but to become a better spouse in the future. You begin noticing your flaws, your bad habits, and your shortcomings. And instead of ignoring them, you feel a strong desire to improve. You realize that marriage requires maturity. Marriage is not just about love and romance. It's about responsibility, patience, and compromise. If you find yourself becoming more aware of your emotions and reactions, it's a sign of growth. You start controlling your anger, speaking more kindly, and being more mindful of your actions, you realize that the habits you have now, good or bad, will directly affect your future spouse and home. For example, if you were someone who easily got irritated, you now try to develop patience. If you used to struggle with communication, you start learning how to express yourself better. These are all signs that Allah is preparing you for marriage. You start working on your deen. A righteous spouse is a blessing, and deep down, you know that to attract a good spouse, you must also be a good spouse. This is why you may start strengthening your connection with Allah. You begin praying more consistently, making dua for guidance, and avoiding sins that once felt normal. You start asking yourself, am I living in a way that pleases Allah? You also develop a stronger sense of accountability. You realize that your future spouse is not just a life partner, but someone you'll be responsible for. You'll influence their faith, their emotions, and their daily life. This realization pushes you to become more conscious of your actions. You start becoming more responsible. Marriage requires stability, not just financially, but emotionally and mentally. If you find yourself becoming more disciplined, more responsible, and more independent, it's a strong sign that Allah is preparing you for the next stage of life. Maybe you used to procrastinate a lot, but now you make sure your work is done on time. Maybe you used to waste money on unnecessary things, but now you focus on savings. These are all signs that you are mentally preparing for the responsibilities that come with marriage. You might also start feeling more serious about your career, health, and personal goals, not just for yourself, but because you know that your future spouse will rely on you. This shift in mindset is a major sign that marriage is near. Your interactions with others improve. How you treat others is a reflection of how you'll treat your spouse. If you start being more mindful of your words, more patient with family, and more forgiving with friends, it's a huge sign that you're growing. Maybe you used to argue a lot, but now you choose peace. Maybe you used to hold grudges, but now you forgive easily. These small changes indicate that you are developing the qualities of a good spouse, someone who brings peace, understanding, and love into their home. You no longer blame others for everything. One of the biggest signs of maturity is when you stop blaming others and start taking responsibility for your own actions. You realize that if something goes wrong, it's not always the fault of other people. It might be something within you that needs to change. In marriage, there will be disagreements, challenges, and tough moments. If you are already developing a mindset where you focus on solutions instead of blame, you are truly preparing for a healthy and successful relationship. You start making dua for the right spouse, not just any spouse. At one point, you may have thought about marriage casually, without much depth, but now you realize that choosing the right spouse is one of the most important decisions of your life. You stop praying for just someone to come into your life. Instead, you make sincere dua for a pious, kind, and compatible partner. You ask Allah to grant you a marriage that will bring barakah and peace. This shift in your dua shows that your understanding of marriage has matured. You no longer want just a wedding. You want a lifelong companion who will help you get closer to Jannah. If you've been noticing these changes in yourself, a stronger desire to improve, to be responsible, to fix your character, and to prepare for a meaningful relationship, then marriage may be closer than you think. This is Allah guiding you, preparing you, and shaping you into the person who will be ready to embrace a new chapter in life. So continue growing, keep working on yourself, and trust that when the right time comes, Allah will send you the best partner for you. One of the most surprising signs that marriage is coming closer is when you experience delays and obstacles, but instead of feeling frustrated, you feel at peace. Maybe you've had proposals that didn't work out. Maybe things seemed perfect with someone, but then suddenly, circumstances changed. Yet deep inside, you feel no panic, no desperation, just a quiet confidence that everything is unfolding as it should. This is a sign that Allah is preparing you for something special. In the past, you might have been anxious about marriage delays. You may have wondered, why isn't it happening yet? But now you have a different mindset. Instead of seeing delays as a punishment, you start seeing them as protection. You begin to understand that Allah knows what's best for you, even when you don't. Maybe He is saving you from the wrong person. Maybe He is giving you time to grow before sending the right one. This change in perspective brings an incredible sense of peace. You no longer feel the need to rush because you trust Allah's plan. Perhaps you've seen people rush into marriage only to struggle with constant conflicts, misunderstandings, or even divorce. At first, you might have envied those who got married quickly, but now, when you see the reality of unhappy marriages, you feel grateful for the delays in your own life. You start thinking, maybe I was saved from a similar fate. Maybe Allah is giving me time to meet the right person instead of settling for the wrong one. This gratitude strengthens your patience. You no longer feel pressure to marry just because others are getting married. Instead, you want to wait for the right person at the right time. One of the biggest signs that you are close to marriage is when you don't even need to see immediate results to feel peaceful. You don't know exactly when it will happen, but you feel a deep sense of certainty that it will happen at the perfect time. This is not blind optimism. This is faith. In the past, you may have felt restless, constantly wondering when the right person would come. But now you trust the process. You focus on self-improvement, on your relationship with Allah, and on your personal goals, knowing that when the time is right, marriage will fall into place effortlessly. Interestingly, another sign that marriage is near is when people around you start asking about it more often. Maybe your parents or relatives suddenly become more serious about finding you a spouse. Maybe friends and acquaintances start mentioning, I know someone who might be a good match for you. At first, these comments may feel random, but they are often a reflection of something shifting in the unseen. When Allah decides that your time for marriage is coming, He often places the idea in the hearts of those around you. While it's important not to feel pressured, it's also a sign that doors are starting to open. Another surprising sign is that even when opportunities start appearing, you don't feel desperate or in a rush. In the past, you may have felt anxious whenever a proposal or potential spouse came into your life. But now, even when someone good is suggested, you take your time, make dua, and think carefully. This shows that you are approaching marriage with wisdom, not with desperation. You understand that a life partner is not just about chemistry or emotions. It's about shared values, character, and long-term compatibility. At one point, you may have made dua for marriage in a general way, asking Allah for a spouse without much thought. But now your dua has changed. You ask for a spouse who will bring you closer to Allah. You pray for a marriage full of barakah, understanding, and peace. You no longer ask for someone just because you feel lonely. You ask for the right person because you are ready to build a life with them. This shift in dua is a major sign that Allah is preparing you for marriage. When your prayers become focused and sincere, it means your heart is in the right place. If you've been facing delays but feeling peaceful about it, take it as a sign that Allah is preparing you for something truly special. Marriage is not just about timing, it's about the right person, the right situation, and the right spiritual state. If you feel at peace despite the uncertainties, it's because deep inside, your soul knows that Allah's timing is perfect. So keep trusting, keep making dua, and keep improving yourself. When the time is right, your story will unfold beautifully. One of the biggest signs that you are getting closer to marriage is that the people around you start to change. You begin attracting individuals who are serious about relationships, have good character, and share your values. These people might be friends, mentors, or even potential life partners. Instead of casual friendships or pointless discussions, you find yourself engaged in conversations that hold value. You might talk about personal growth, future plans, or even marriage itself. These discussions feel natural and purposeful, as if you are being prepared for the next phase of life. Suddenly, you are surrounded by people who encourage you to do better. Maybe you meet someone who guides you toward making better life choices. You might notice that people who are insincere or negative start fading away from your life. This shift isn't random. It's a sign that Allah is placing you in an environment that nurtures a strong and fulfilling marriage. Another major sign is that you start encountering people who are serious about marriage. Maybe friends introduce you to someone with good character, or perhaps someone approaches your family with a proposal. These encounters might feel different from the past. Instead of vague or uncertain interactions, the conversations are clearer, more purposeful, and aligned with your values. This doesn't mean you must rush into anything, but it's a sign that you're being guided toward the right direction. When you start attracting the right people, it's a sign that you are ready for a new chapter in life. Pay attention to these changes, keep making dua, and trust that the right person will come into your life at the right time. One of the most powerful signs that you are on the path to marriage is that your heart keeps turning to Allah in dua. You find yourself asking for guidance, clarity, and a spouse who will be good for you in both this life and the next. This isn't just a passing thought. It's a deep, consistent desire that stays in your heart. And the fact that you keep making dua means that Allah is already guiding you. When you sincerely ask Allah for guidance, you start noticing a change in your relationship with Him. You feel closer to your faith. You pray with more focus, and your heart is at ease, even if things aren't happening as quickly as you hoped. This is because Allah never ignores a sincere dua. If you keep turning to Him, it means that He is listening, and He is preparing something better for you. Sometimes when we make dua, we expect an instant answer, but true faith means trusting Allah's timing, even when things seem delayed. You begin to realize that every delay, every unanswered question, is actually an answer in itself, because Allah knows what's best for you. The fact that you haven't stopped making dua shows that you haven't lost hope, and that hope is a sign that something good is coming. Making dua isn't just about asking for a spouse. It's about aligning your heart with Allah's plan. Every dua you make is bringing you closer to the right person at the right time. So don't stop. Keep making dua, keep improving yourself, and trust that Allah's plan is always greater than your own. If you've noticed these signs in your life, it means that Allah is preparing you for something beautiful. Every challenge, every delay, and every moment of self-growth is part of His perfect plan. Marriage isn't just about finding the right person. It's about becoming the right person. Keep working on yourself. Stay connected to your faith, and trust that Allah's timing is always best. And most importantly, never stop making dua. The right person will enter your life at the right time, in the most unexpected and beautiful way. If this video gave you clarity and hope, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us create more meaningful content. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an important reminder. May Allah bless you with the best partner. Ameen. Love is a gift from Allah, a force that brings hearts together and strengthens relationships. It can be the source of immense joy, security, and companionship. But love is not just a word. It is a responsibility, a trust, and a reflection of sincerity. True love nurtures the soul, while false love leaves wounds that take years to heal. In today's world, love is often misunderstood. Many people say they love, but their actions speak differently. Words can be sweet, but real love is proven through consistency, patience, and sacrifice. Some may claim to care for you, yet disappear when you need them the most. Others may show affection, but only as long as it benefits them. So how can you tell if the love in your life is real? How do you know if it is love that will bring you closer to Allah rather than lead you astray? Allah, in His infinite wisdom, does not leave us in confusion. He gives us signs, clear indicators that reveal the truth. These signs are not always loud or obvious. Sometimes they are subtle, requiring us to pay close attention. But if you open your heart and reflect, you will see them. In this video, we will explore 5 powerful signs that Allah will show you when someone's love is genuine. Each sign is backed by the wisdom of the Qur'an and the teachings of our beloved Prophet Muhammad. These are not just signs of worldly love, but signs of a love that carries meaning beyond this life, a love that is blessed, sincere, and pleasing to Allah. So if you've ever questioned the sincerity of someone's love, if you've ever wondered whether a person truly cares for you, then stay with us until the end. Understanding these signs may protect you from heartbreak, guide you toward meaningful relationships, and help you recognize the people whom Allah has placed in your life as true blessings. Sign number 1. They love you for the sake of Allah. Love in Islam is not measured by worldly standards. It is not defined by wealth, physical beauty, or social status. True love is something far greater. It is a love rooted in sincerity, built upon faith and devotion to Allah. Many relationships today are formed for selfish reasons. Some people claim to love others, but their love is conditional. It depends on what they can gain, status, financial security, or personal comfort. But such love is temporary. When the conditions change, the love disappears. However, love that is for the sake of Allah is different. It is not tied to material benefits or fleeting emotions. It is based on a deep spiritual connection, one that does not fade with time or circumstance. The Prophet Muhammad taught us the value of such love. He said, "When a person loves his brother, let him tell him that he loves him." Sunan Abu Dawud 5124. This hadith reminds us that true love should be expressed and appreciated, but it also emphasizes the nature of real love, one that is not selfish, one that exists because of faith and righteousness. When someone truly loves you, their love is not about what you can give them in this world. Instead, they care about your relationship with Allah. They want to see you succeed not just in this life, but in the hereafter as well. They remind you of your purpose. They encourage you to do good, and they help you stay on the path of righteousness. They do not distract you from your faith, they strengthen it. This is why the Prophet also said, "There are 3 qualities. Whoever has them will taste the sweetness of faith. To love Allah and His Messenger more than anyone else, to love a person only for the sake of Allah, and to hate to return to disbelief as one would hate to be thrown into the fire." Bukhari and Muslim. A person who loves you for the sake of Allah will never manipulate you, deceive you, or lead you towards sin. Their love is pure and selfless. They will not encourage you to chase temporary pleasures or material desires. Instead, they will guide you toward what is truly valuable, pleasing Allah and securing your place in Jannah. So if someone claims to love you, ask yourself, do they bring you closer to Allah? Do they inspire you to be a better Muslim? Or do they distance you from your faith and fill your heart with worldly distractions? A love that is sincere will never lead you away from Allah. It will always bring you closer to Him. And that is the kind of love that lasts, both in this world and in the hereafter. Sign number 2. They make dua for you in your absence. One of the most beautiful signs of sincere love is when someone remembers you in their prayers. It is easy to show kindness when a person is in front of you, to offer words of support and encouragement when they are present. But true love goes beyond that. It remains strong even when distance separates you. A person who truly cares for you will think about your well-being even when you are not around. And the greatest proof of this is when they make dua for you. They ask Allah to grant you success, to ease your hardships, to protect you from harm, and to bless your life with goodness. This is not a love that seeks attention or recognition. It is a love that is pure and selfless. The Prophet emphasized the power of making dua for others. He said, "The supplication of a Muslim for his brother in his absence will certainly be answered. Every time he makes a supplication for good for his brother, the angel appointed for this particular task says, 'Ameen, may it be for you too.'" Sahih Muslim. 33. This hadith reveals an incredible blessing. When someone sincerely prays for you, the angels respond by asking Allah to grant them the same goodness in return. This means that when a person makes dua for your success, they too are receiving blessings. This is the nature of sincere love. It is not selfish, but generous. Now think for a moment. How many people in your life do you pray for? And how many people do you believe pray for you? The reality is, only those who truly love you, those who genuinely care for your happiness, will remember you in their private moments with Allah. They will ask Allah to forgive you, to guide you, and to bless your health, your wealth, and your faith. This kind of love is rare. It is not the love of someone who only thinks of you when they need something. It is the love of someone who cares for your dunya and your akhirah, someone who wants to see you in Jannah. So if you have someone in your life who prays for you in your essence, know that their love is real. They do not need to show it with grand gestures or words. They prove it with their sincerity, with their faith, and with their dua. Sign number 3. They support you in times of difficulty. Love is not just about happiness and laughter. It is easy for people to be with you when life is comfortable, when success surrounds you, and when everything is going well. But the true test of love comes in times of hardship, when the weight of this world presses down on your shoulders, when the doors seem to close, and when trials shake your heart. Who stays by your side? Many people will celebrate with you in good times, but only a few will remember you when you are struggling. Some will distance themselves when you can no longer offer them anything. Others will leave when things become difficult, fearing the burden of your pain. But a person who truly loves you will never turn away. They will not watch you suffer in silence. Instead, they will stand with you, offering their support, reminding you of Allah's mercy, and encouraging you to stay strong in faith. Allah describes human nature in the Qur'an. Indeed, mankind was created anxious. When evil touches him, he is impatient, and when good touches him, he withholds it, except for those who pray. Surah Al-Ma'arij 70:19-22. These verses reveal an important truth. Most people are quick to lose patience when tested. They panic in hardship and hold back in times of ease. But those who are connected to Allah, those who understand the meaning of true love and sincerity, remain steadfast. They do not abandon. The ones who truly care about you do not leave when times are tough. Instead, they stand as a source of comfort and strength. Look at the greatest example of true love, the love between the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and his wife Khadijah R.A. When the Prophet received the first revelation, he was deeply shaken. He rushed home to Khadijah, seeking comfort, saying, "Cover me, cover me." He was overwhelmed by the weight of the message he had received. And how did Khadijah respond? Did she doubt him? Did she leave him to struggle alone? No. She immediately reassured him, saying, "By Allah, Allah will never disgrace you. You keep good relations with your family, help the poor and the destitute, serve your guests generously, and assist those in difficulty. She reminded him of his goodness when he doubted himself. She believed in him when the world had not yet recognized his mission. She stood by his side, offering him not just love, but unwavering support, strength, and comfort. This is what true love looks like. It does not leave when difficulties arise. It does not hesitate in the face of hardship. It strengthens, it uplifts, and it remains firm. So ask yourself, when you face trials, who stands with you? Who reminds you of Allah's wisdom and mercy? Who supports you without expecting anything in return? A person who truly loves you will not leave you to face your struggles alone. They will be there, offering their presence, their encouragement, and their dua. Because real love is not just about sharing happiness. It is about standing together through every challenge with faith and sincerity. Sign number 4. They help you become a better Muslim. One of the greatest blessings in life is to have someone who pushes you closer to Allah, someone whose love is not just based on emotions, but on faith and sincerity. True love is not just about companionship, it is about growth. It is about helping one another improve, striving together for something far greater than this temporary world. Allah describes the righteous in the Qur'an, and those who say, "Our Lord, grant us from among our wives and offspring comfort to our eyes, and make us an example for the righteous." Surah Al-Furqan 25-74. This is the kind of love that brings peace to the heart, a love that makes you better, not worse. If someone truly loves you, they will remind you of your duties to Allah. They will encourage you to pray on time, to seek knowledge, to give in charity, and to avoid sinful actions. They will not drag you towards haram or distract you from your faith. Instead, they will help you become the best version of yourself, someone who pleases Allah. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, warned us about the power of influence. He said, "Ummah follows the religion of his friend, so each one should consider whom he makes his friend." Abu Dawood 4833. This hadith is a reminder that the people we surround ourselves with have a direct impact on our faith. If a person loves you sincerely, they will never encourage you to engage in wrongdoing. They will not push you towards neglecting your prayers, abandoning the Qur'an, or engaging in sins. Instead, they will protect your faith as if it were their own. This applies to every relationship, whether it is friendship, marriage, or family. A sincere friend will remind you to seek forgiveness when you make a mistake. A loving spouse will encourage you to be patient and trust in Allah during difficult times. A caring family member will guide you towards what is good and beneficial for your hereafter. Now, take a moment to reflect. Does the person who claims to love you inspire you to become better? Do they remind you of Allah? Do they encourage you to do good deeds? Real love is not about momentary happiness. It is about eternal success. The one who truly loves you will not just be concerned about your comfort in this life, but also about your place in Jannah. They will want to walk with you on the straight path, helping you get closer to Allah with every step. That is the love that lasts. That is the love that Allah blesses. Sign number 5. They remind you of Allah in everything. The greatest sign of sincere love is when someone constantly reminds you of Allah. Their presence in your life does not distract you from your faith. Rather, it strengthens it. They encourage you to trust in Allah in moments of difficulty. They remind you to be grateful in times of ease. Their words bring comfort to your heart, and their actions inspire you to become closer to your Creator. Love that is disconnected from Allah is temporary. It fades with time, weakens with trials, and disappears when life changes. But love that is built upon faith is everlasting. It is a love that extends beyond this world, a love that seeks success in the hereafter. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "The best gift a believer can give to his brother is wise counsel." At Tirmidhi, 1939. This means that true love is not just about making someone feel good. It is about guiding them towards what is right. It is about giving advice that benefits them, even if it is difficult to hear. It is about caring for their soul, not just their emotions. When someone truly loves you, they will remind you of Allah in everything. When you are worried, they will encourage you to have tawakkul, trust in Allah's plan. When you feel lost, they will remind you to turn to the Qur'an for guidance. When you make a mistake, they will gently correct you, not to criticize, but to help you improve. This is the love that matters. It is not based on material things. It is not about status or appearances. It is about a connection that brings you closer to the one who created love itself, Allah. So ask yourself, does the person who claims to love you remind you of your purpose? Do they strengthen your faith? Do they encourage you to seek Allah's pleasure? Because the one who truly loves you will not just want to be with you in this world, they will want to reunite with you in Jannah. Love in Islam is sacred. It is not just a fleeting emotion or empty words. True love is proven through actions, sincerity, and faith. It is not measured by how much someone says they love you, but by how they bring you closer to Allah. If someone truly loves you, they will not seek to control you or harm you. They will not love you for superficial reasons. Instead, their love will be pure. It will be for the sake of Allah. They will pray for you even when you do not know. They will support you when life tests you. They will help you improve as a Muslim, guiding you toward righteousness. And above all, they will constantly remind you of Allah, ensuring that your connection with your Creator remains strong. This is the love that matters. This is the love that lasts, not just in this world, but in the hereafter. So ask Allah to bless you with such love, a love that is built on sincerity, a love that leads to Jannah, because in the end, the greatest love is not just for this world, but for the eternal life that awaits us. If you found this video beneficial, share it with others so they too can recognize the signs of true love. May Allah bless us all with sincere and righteous relationships. Ameen.